All right, so it's Ray the CPA. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about supporting documentation or documentation. Let's actually just call it what it is: supporting documentation, documentation. What we're talking about is when you are audited by anybody external to your organization, whether that be a bank wants to see your records, or the IRS wants to see your records, or I'm trying to think. If you're a not-for-profit, this is a general one. I'll do videos that are specific for not-for-profits, and I'll do videos that are specific for business organizations or other types of organizations, depending on how I'm feeling, or depending on what you ask for. But for now, we're just talking in general about mileage because it's relatively the same for all organizations. So basically, what we're talking about is if somebody wants to know that you aren't full of crap, this is what you do. But also for your business, it's a best practice. You want to document why. You remember the 4 W's or the 5 W's? I can't remember. We'll make our own W's up during this video. But what we're talking about is, why did you do a thing? When did you do a thing? Where did you go when you did the thing? And what did you do? And who was there? So I think that's 5 W's in documentation. So specifically in this video, let's talk about mileage. So for mileage, I'm going from point A to point B. Well, why did you do it? Did you go round trip? You know, what do you got going? That's what we need to capture. So depending on what your records are like, how you keep your records, some people are better than others, but what you need to maintain, one, because you can't rely on your memory. Best practice tip: never rely on your memory. All right, I'm gonna hold this thing up so when I'm editing it. So best practice, whenever I hold this card, I'll know to, flash the words here. But best practice, you never want to rely on your own memory. So that's one reason you want to document why did you do a thing. Two, as memory fades, but also for people that are asking you questions, you want to be able to explain why you did a thing, where you went, what you did, who was there. So, mileage. Let's say that I have to drive out to an appointment, okay? So I'm driving out, since I work from home, I'll get into that too. There's probably going to be new mileage reimbursement. Is going to be awesome because you work from home now, so that's your base of operations. So driving anywhere else would require mileage. Don't quote me on that. I need your specific situation, but that'll work. Anyway, so I need to go to an appointment. So I'm going to document where I went and why I went. So Ray had to go on an appointment to meet John and Jane, business owner, and discuss business stuff over there at their place, which is 27 miles away. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to MapQuest or Google Maps, or I don't even know what's out there. I don't even know if MapQuest exists. But anyway, or my map app on my Google phone, whatever. I'm going to go to that, and I'm going to have my directions saved somewhere. So I know from my home or from wherever my business originating point is to that place and back is X amount of miles. So if it's 26 miles, then it's going to be 52 miles in total round trip. I want to claim that, right? I want to be reimbursed, or I want to claim that as a deduction on my expenses. I think it might be at 58 cents. But I don't remember. It might be at 55 cents. Anyway, we'll get there. I'll post somewhere down here what the rate is right now according to the IRS. Anyway, you want to be able to document that. That's the where you drove, right? You have the business purpose. Why I went there. I went to meet with business owners. I went to discuss their business with them. Business stuff is my business reason. You'll have a better one than that, right? There's a reason why you had to go over there. I had to go over there to discuss things. That's what you want to document in all seriousness. You want to document the number of miles, and MapQuest is a good thing to do. The IRS will also recognize if you're old school and you keep a log, right? I would imagine that there are mileage apps on the phone nowadays where you could keep how many miles you're going per week for whatever. I'll tell you guys a story to kind of illustrate these points. So at one of my prior jobs, I got everybody very upset at me because the organization that I was working for would basically have you read your odometer in the morning. So your odometer says 74,000 miles, and at the end of the day, your odometer says 75,200. So you get 1,200 miles to claim on your weekly reimbursement. No. Can anybody tell me what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is, what if you went to see your grandma? What if you went for lunch to McDonald's? You can only be reimbursed or only use expenditures that are for a valid business purpose. Nobody cares if you went to go. There are a number of personal things that you could have done during the day. That's not going to work. Nobody's going to want to use that as documentation. So make sure you never do that. You want to document each trip. If you take 7 trips a day, you need to document 7 trips a day. If you take 1 trip a week, document 1 trip a week. Remember, you want to know why you did it. I went to go do business stuff. Where did you go? That's going to be accomplished when you use your MapQuest, right? You're going to get that. Bang, bang. So why, where, who went? If you and Tony went, document that. Have that down. Because maybe in addition to this, you want to be reimbursed for the lunch you bought, you and Tony. It all kind of layers in. Do you understand? You just want to be able to justify your expenses. That's the bottom line. You want to be able to support with more than your word what you did. Look at it this way. If you don't have it documented, you can't take credit for it. You understand? All right. As always, I want you to subscribe, I want you to like, and I want you to comment. Head over to cbtlimited.com. You can schedule a free 30 minutes with me. We can talk things over, hash it up. You're in quarantine. What else you got to do? Love to hear from you. Keep those questions coming. There'll probably be a series on documentation coming up. So, as always, this is Ray the CPA signing off. Take care, everybody.